The perfect forms of third aleph verbs use the same suffix endings that you already know. The quiescence of the aleph will cause the regular changes we've discussed. The spirantization of a tav of the ending if the aleph quiesces in advance of it, and the lengthening of the vowel that precedes a quiescent aleph. Compare the paradigms for the Qal perfect of katal, a strong verb, and matzah, a third aleph verb. The katal paradigm, which you know well, is katal, katala, katalta, katalt, katalti, katalu, kutaltim, kutaltin, katalnu. With matzah, the paradigm is matzah, matzah, matzata, matzat, matzati, matzu, mutzatim, mutzatin, matzanu. You'll note the changes. In cases where the aleph quiesces, which is the entire paradigm, the vowel that precedes it, the vowel under the tzadeh, has lengthened from the patak of the strong form to the kametz of the third aleph form. You'll note also that when the suffix begins with a tav, that tav typically has a dagesh in the strong form because it is a bagad kafat letter following a silent schwa, and it's therefore said with the stop sound marked by the weak dagesh, the dagesh lene. In the third aleph forms, however, this tav follows a quiescent aleph, meaning that in terms of sound, the sound heard before it is the kametz vowel. That causes the bagad kafat letter, in this case the tav, to not take a stop pronunciation, but to take the spirant pronunciation, and therefore it has no dagesh. Consider these two examples. First, Proverbs 3:13a. Ashrei Adam Matzah Hokmah. Ashrei is blessed, Adam, man. So we begin with a verbless clause. Blessed is the man. We might say a man because there is no definite article. However, the man is specified by the rest of the clause. Matzah, which is the verb, a Qal perfect, third masculine singular of the root, matzah, third aleph. So note, with the aleph being quiescent, we have the long vowel under the tzadeh. He finds. So blessed is the man who finds chokmah, wisdom. Note that as an unaccented closed syllable, this is a kametz hatuf, chokmah. Secondly, consider Malachi 1:4. V'kar'u lahem gavul rish'ah. The verb v'kar'u is a Qal converted perfect, third common plural of the root kara, which is to call. So, and they will be called, as a converted perfect, we take the will be from earlier in the verse, le plus him, for themselves, gavul rish'ah, a land, a wicked one. So an attributed adjective, a wicked land. The aleph, as we have said, is usually present in spelling, even though it quiesces and is not pronounced. Occasionally, however, it may be omitted in the spelling. Chato with an aleph is the equivalent of chato without the aleph. Both of these are a Qal infinitive construct of the verb chata, which is glossed as to miss, to wrong, or to sin. So consider the comparison of Hosea 8:11 and Genesis 20, verse 6. Hosea, ki hirba Ephraim mizbachot lachato. So here we have ki, a causal key, because or for. Then the verb here is a hiphil of rabbah. Hiphil perfect, third masculine singular of rabbah in the hiphil, to make many or to multiply. For verb, he multiplied, followed by the subject, Ephraim. For Ephraim has multiplied, mizbachot, so the feminine plural alters, which is the common preposition preceding infinitive construct, and then chato, the cal infinitive construct of chata. Compare with Genesis 20, verse 6. Va'ekshok gam anoki otka mechato li. So a cal narrative, first common singular, of hasach, and I held back. Gam also, anoki, the pronoun I. So verb, subject, and I held back. Ot ka, so ot, the definite direct object marker, plus ka, the second masculine singular suffix. So, and I held you back. And then we have min, plus chato, again, a cal infinitive construct of chata, but this time spelled without the usual quiescent aleph. And then li, plus the first common singular suffix. And I held you back, min, from chato, sinning, the cal infinitive construct, li, against me. If you know the endings well for the perfect, and you know the tip-offs that show you a derived stem, for instance, that nifals are preceded by ni, that PLs double the second radical, etc., you should have no trouble parsing third aleph verbs in any of the derived stems. Simply remember that if the vowel that would have preceded the aleph when it quiesces is short, it will lengthen. On the other hand, if it's already long, it will simply remain. So the cal perfect paradigm of matzah is matzah, matzah, matzata, matzat, matzati, matzau, mutzatim, mutzatin, matzanu. Now in the nifal, a nifal is characterized by the preceding nun with a hirek ni, and typically a nifal, remember that the names come from the root pa'al, would be nif al with the short patak under the second root letter. However, in matzah, the third aleph verb, because the last root letter is an aleph which quiesces, you will see the nifal's short patak lengthen to a kametz. Nimtza with the kametz, nimtza'a, nimtseta, nimtsate, nimtseti, nimtsa'u, nimtsetim, nimtsetin, nimtsenu. In the PL, on the other hand, remember that the characteristics of PL are hirek under the first root letter, and then a doubling of the second root letter. Now with the root pa'al, we can't see it the same way, but with the root katal that we use for our paradigms, the PL is kitel with the doubling of the second root letter. Notice that the vowel under the second root letter in a PL is a tsere, which is already long. In that case, there is no lengthening then because the vowel is already long. And the PL perfect of matzah looks exactly like the strong paradigm. It's simply the third root letter is an aleph. Mitzeh, with both the hirek under the first root letter and the doubling of the second root letter and the sere. Mitzeah, mitzeta, mitzate, mitseti, mitsu, mitsetem, mitsetin, mitsenu. A pu-all, remember, in our form is pu-all, or with katal, it would be ku-tal. The vowel under the second root letter is a short vowel. It will therefore lengthen in a third aleph form when the aleph quiesces because it precedes the quiescent aleph. So we have mutsa with the longer vowel under the second root letter, mutsa'a, mutseta, mutsate, mutseti, mutsa'u, mutsetem, mutsetin, mutsenu. The hitpa'el perfect in its form typically has a tsere anyway, as in the PL, and so there will be no lengthening because the vowel is already long. So we have with matzah, third aleph, basically the strong paradigm, hit matzeh, hit matzah, hit matzeta, hit matzate, hit matzeti, hit matza'u, hit matzetem, hit matzetin, hit matzenu. The hiphil perfect, remember, is characterized by the prefix hi, hic, teal. The hirek yod, which is under the second root letter, is an unchangeably long vowel marked with a mater, and so there will be again no change for a third aleph form because the vowel that precedes the aleph when it quiesces is already long. Him tsi, him tsia, him tseta, him tsate, him tseti, him tsiu, him tsetem, him tsetin, him tsenu. This is basically like the strong paradigm. It just happens that the third root letter is an aleph. And then finally, the hofal will be more like the pual and the nifal, because a hofal form would typically be written, we'll use the u form, huk tal, with a short vowel, the patak, under the second root letter. In a third aleph form, when the third root letter is an aleph, remember the preceding vowel will lengthen, so the hofals of third aleph perfects will see the lengthening of that patak to kametz, as in the pual and the nifal. Hum sa, hum sa'a, hum sata, hum sat, hum sati, hum sa'u, hum satem, hum satin, hum sanu. Consider these three examples. First, Joshua 10:17. Nimtsa'u hameshet hamalakim nek ba'im ba ma'ara b'makedah. So first, nimtsa'u, a nifal perfect, third common plural from matzah, to be found. So verb, they were found, followed by subject, Hameshet Hamalakim, the 5 kings. So Hamesh, remember, is the noun number 5. So the 5 kings were found or have been found, followed by Nek Ba'im, a nifal participle, masculine plural of the root Chaba, to be hidden. So the 5 kings were found hidden, ba ma'ara, in the cave, ba, the preposition, in, and then the proper noun, makedah. Second, from 1 Kings 1:5, Va'adoniyah ben Hagit mit naseh lemor, ani emlok. So we begin with Vav plus the proper name, Adonijah. So note that this is a subject first clause and a different word order, which ought to take notice. So Adonijah, the son of Hagit, then mit naseh. Here a hitpael participle, masculine singular of the root nasa. Notice that because we have the tsere vowel in the typical form, it is already long, so there's no lengthening beyond the typical hitpael participle form. But in the hitpael of nasa, which is to lift up, he lifted himself up. So Adonijah, the son of Hagit, raised himself up. Lemor, le, plus the cal infinitive construct of amar, saying, Ani emlok, which is the quote. It is subject verb in its word order, ani, the pronoun I, and then emlok, a cal imperfect first common singular of malak, to reign or rule. So he said, I emphatically will be king. And then finally, 1 Kings 15:30, Al hatot Yerovam asher chata va'asher cheheti et Yisrael. So al, on account of the sins of Jeroboam. So the construct phrase, on account of the sins of Jeroboam. Asher, the relative particle, which, chata, cal perfect, third masculine singular of chata. Note as a third aleph verb, which from the aleph quiesces, we have a long vowel instead of a patak under the second root letter, which he sinned, the asher, and another relative pronoun, and which, checheti. Now we have a hiphil perfect third masculine singular of the same root, chata. And note that as in a hiphil, you have a hirek yod vowel under the second root letter. This is again already long and therefore will not lengthen, which he made et Yisrael, he made Israel sin.